at the demonstration?
I was at the demonstration mainly for the recent anti-gay sentiments coming from UKIP. I think it was a couple of days just before the incident that David Sylvester made comments about the bad weather being down to gay people. In my observations, that since UKIP have been in Margate, the weather's been raining every day. So
what's your view of Nigel Farage?
He's a funny little man, isn't he? I don't know, he just seems to be running around the country at the moment on this mission of self-publicising himself. He seems to be on this one issue of, we need to get out of Europe, we must stop immigrants and migrants coming to this country and this and that. It's very dangerous things to be saying, and especially in this country at the moment with all the problems that are going on. It's an easy scapegoat to make, isn't it? We'll blame someone else for the problems. So I'm really against the way that they go about that. It's like they're deliberately trying to set people against each other, which is wrong, really. So.
Do you think UKIP is a dangerous party?
I believe they've got the potential to be dangerous. We had this, thing with the BNP a few years ago where they done really well at the European elections, which, luckily that by the time the next general election came, the support for them had waned. But I think the difference between the BNP and UKIP is UKIP are a more well-organised party. I think their funding's a lot better than it would be, so they've got money to spout their hate more over the media and their publications and bits and pieces like that. So let them carry on the way they're going. They could end up being quite a powerful political force in the country, which is going to be quite a scary thing. So.
They did very well in the county council elections in Thanet, and an opinion poll showed that they might do very well in a parliamentary election in Thanet South. Now, why do you think that is? Why are Thanet people in particular interested in possibly voting for UKIP?
I believe the problem in Thanet's been one that's been going on for a long time. People here don't seem to get a chance to get on in life. There's not very many opportunities for training, further education, especially into the skills that we need people to be training into. As well as that, Margate and Thanet in general for a long time now has been used as a dumping ground for asylum seekers, migrant workers, people from London where the local authorities up there. So it's a melting pot of different cultures in the area, and I think a lot of the local people take offence to that, having people from out of the area living there. And it just seems to me from the conversations I have with people locally, one of the first things they'll say when you say, so-and-so something, it'd be the immigrants' fault, or something like that. Whereas I've spent time, in these communities. I speak to these people quite regularly, and they're not here to take our benefits or steal our jobs. They're just coming over here to try and live their lives, just the same as anybody else is. I wouldn't. The analogy I always use when someone says to me, they're coming over here for our work, is I say, right, if you could go to Dover, get on a ferry, go and live in France, get 5 to 10 times more wages for the same job you do over here, it's a no-brainer. Wouldn't you go? Of course you would. So that's the way I try and let them get my story across. So that's.
But they do. You do encounter people who say, immigrants come here and live on benefits in Margate, Cliftonville, or wherever in Thanet. What do you say about that?
I'd say that's simply not true. The big misconception that a lot of people have is, people can come here from another country and they can walk straight to the job centre the next day and be signing on the next week. That's simply not true. It's at least a 3-month wait. First of all, you have to get yourself a national insurance number, etc, etc. There are steps you have to take. You don't just come into this country and get a council house and get your benefits and all that. It doesn't happen. It's ridiculous to even suggest that that's the case.
Some people we've come across complain about the Roma people, sort of stealing and things like hanging about the street corners. What do you say to people who say that kind of thing?
Well, they need a social life, these people, don't they? I've never had any problems. Like I say, I spend a lot of time in Cliftonville. I've got friends that live there. I'm in that area quite a lot. I've never felt threatened. I've never felt like I'm going to get robbed by the Roma community or any of them. You say hello to them, they say hello back. In fact, in a lot of ways, they're much more polite and accepting than people, indigenous to this country. I don't like to say that because I like to try and think everyone's polite and nice, but it saddens me sometimes to see people's attitudes and the way they are. I think it's a problem that the planet has as a whole. And when it comes to politics, people are very apathetic or disenfranchised, and they just want to hop on this bandwagon that UKIP are trying to, stir up. And people are going to vote for whoever they're going to vote for. They're just going to, especially this day, you've got no real difference between the three main parties anymore. Liberals, they went in with the Tories to the last election. Conservatives, well, they've always been the Conservatives, and Labour, they're just moving more and more to the right every year. So people are getting a bit fed up with this. They're looking for an alternative, and for a lot of people, UKIP seems to be the real alternative vote for them. So people aren't actually looking deep down into what UKIP are really about.
Do you see though dangers that they may increase the amounts of racism in the area and possibly lead to more conflict in the area because they are playing the racist card?
Well, let's hope not. Let's hope that people are sensible about this and see them for what they really are. Their true colours will show sooner or later anyway. Apart from their immigration, they're very little substance to any of their other policies, so people will see the real UKIP.